Hello all, welcome to another edition of King Joe's Unboxing. I'll start off with this package. It's from Floyd again. I bought some more games off of him, so five games. I'll start off with the two older ones. Xbox 360, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Xbox 360's Frontlines, Fuels of War. I'm going to have to get the manual for Black Flag. I didn't know that didn't have it. Then I got Xbox One, Valhalla Hills. PS4, Stormblood, Final Fantasy. And PS4, Dark Pictures Man of Medan. So, got that. Now, we'll go to this box. Let's select it. And this box has Atari 7800 Joust CIB. So, go downstairs. I'll play this. And now my final package. I bought a lot of 3 Shazam books. I needed 2 of the 3. Which is funny. 27, which I already have, which I'll see if this copy's better than the one I have. But I needed 29. And I needed issue 30. Which now leaves me with only needing issue number 28 to finish Shazam. And it's sad. Because it's like ridiculous what that book is worth now. I should have bought it years ago, and as usual, there's a lot of books I should have bought years ago. But like with everything else, I just bought other stuff. I just kept buying, I should have just worked on one thing instead. I kept, procrastinating, buy other stuff, Just like the G.I. Joes. I should never got rid of my G.I. Joes because I had issue 21 originally. And I got rid of them. Just like the guys took my Swamp Things, they took my X-Men books, my Wolverines, my Punishers. Never should have got rid of them. Never should have got rid of those books. What books I sold those guys because they stole other books. For what I sold those guys and what they took, it wasn't worth it. They got thousands of dollars worth of books and they only gave me $400 and some. Even though they didn't stay in business long, those scumbags didn't last long. and it bothered me. To this day, it still bothers me because uh, a guy screwed me over. I had a Han Solo blaster pistol, and all these guys over the years, like I had a guy named Dave Legg who showed up. He was supposed to be my friend. He drove me nuts to get my Shazam superpower figure. He showed up at my house every day for weeks, drove me nuts in order to get my Shazam superpower figure. My mom begged me to give it to him because he was driving her crazy, showing up in the morning, afternoon when I was at work. So I had to sell it to him for $20. Wish I never did because that figure now is like couple $100. I had a buddy Walter who I sold some of my Star Wars figures to. And I told him, I said, if you're going to get rid of them, I'll buy them back from you. He went to the comic book store, Al's comic book store, and sold them to Al. So I quit talking to him after that. I was like, why'd you do that? I told you I'd buy them back from you if you decided to sell them. I was like, so Al got some of my Star Wars stuff. Even though I did sell him some of the double figures I had, but I was pissed off because to this day I still don't have some of my original Star figures. I didn't sell them on the later waves, but I did sell them some of the earlier stuff. I still need a Hoth Soldier. I actually have to go through them again, looking at what I have and remember what ones I sold them. I was very upset at myself. I should have known better, but see, when these guys, that's why anymore when somebody begs me to sell them stuff that's in my collection, I don't do it anymore. Because I've learned from my mistakes. No matter how somebody begs me, pleads with me, no. I do this. It just, but there's games, movies. I got all kinds of stuff. Like Lou, when he comes down, he's like, still sees everything he gave me. I don't get rid. I try not to get rid of it. That's like today. I was at Keegan's softball game, well, t-ball, and the guys there were asking me, do I ever plan to sell the stuff? And I'm like, no, I'll get rid of my doubles, and if I open up a shop, I'll sell my doubles, and if I'll try to do stuff through that way. If I do sell something, you damn well bet I'm gonna try to get full value for something that's in my collection. Uh, and I'd only do that if it's a last ditch resort type deal. Uh, I just can't see if the kids. I even said if the kids don't want it, fine. I'll sell it down the road maybe. Uh, I'd rather have a museum than a shop. I'd rather share my collection with the world like I do here. I mean, I've had more people steal stuff from me over the years than anything. Like when I used to trade with the local kids. I mean, uh, the one kid, Mike, and Ernie, that lived 3 or 4 doors down from me. When I was trading cards, they were stealing Alonzo Mourning, Larry Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal rookie cards off of me left and right. I found that out later. I kept wondering. I'm like, why am I missing? I keep my pile of Shaq cards is like dwindling. I'm like, I swear to God, I had more than them. To find out, yeah, they were taking them. And of course, couldn't say nothing to their parents because their parents were like, my kids are angels type deal. So that was the end of that. because the one kid's mother was actually the counsel what was it, guidance counselor at the school. And I was like, I told my mom. My mom was like, just let it go. I was like, yeah, but they get away with stealing. And she's like, just let it go, Joey. I'm like, okay, mom. But she's damn done. Uh, Comic book wise, um, I have some comic books I bought off of a guy on Facebook. Basically, all I have coming now is some more Atari games coming, and that's it. I have 7 or 8 more Atari games coming, and some comics. Uh, I think I bought like 17 or 19 issues off of a guy on Facebook had a dollar claim sale. So I know I did finish one series called Trouble. The guy had the 2 issues I needed for $1 a book. And the sad thing is, he had some of the Batgirls I needed, but somebody else claimed them. And I was like, damn. What I should do is I should put up a list of. I should go through what issues I need, like series I need, like less than 6 issues each, and post them up there, and see if anybody in that community has any of them. Say, listen, I'm trying to find these books. If anybody's got them cheap, let me know and give a listing. Because a lot of the guys put their stuff up. I mean, they're ridiculous. They're ridiculous priced with some of the stuff I've seen up there. I mean, like everybody who puts stuff up there is like slabbed, and I'm like, price wise, it's like crazy. To me, they should not call them. Like I said, they should not call themselves comic book collectors. They should call themselves comic book investors, because to me, that's not a comic book collector. That's because comic book collector, you read them. At least I used to read them all. I don't even have time anymore. All this stuff just sits there. I don't even have time to. I don't even have time to bag and board half my books. I went upstairs the other day. I got most of them bagged and boarded. I have to put them all in alphabetical order again. They just keep piling up. You buy. Same thing with the video games. I still have to get. I haven't heard from Stanley with the case. Some guy on Facebook said, how do you store your games? And I said, well, as soon as I get my cabinets that the guy, my buddy's making for me, I'll take a picture of them and I'll show you how I store my games, my cartridges, because they'll be able to hold 800 cartridges when Stanley's done. And right now, according to my program, I have between boxed Atari 2600 games and loose, I have 392. And that doesn't include 7800 and 5200 Atari games. So I got probably over. So I have already half one of the 2 cabinets filled. So halfway there. I did pick up. I did win a bid. I did get King Kong for the 2600. That'll be coming in the mail. I also have coming James Bond for the 2600. So out of the movie ones, I still need Flash Gordon, Gremlins. I'll probably never get Halloween or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. trying to think of what are the other movies. Uh, because I'm trying to get. I'm not going to get all the Atari cartridges. That's not what I want. My buddy Al was like, "What ones you want?" I sort of rattled off a list of them to him. And he's like, "Well, that's still a lot." I'm like, "Well, it's not all of them." He's like, "What? But it's still a lot." I'm like, "But," I said, "Al, it's not all of them. I'd like to get all the 20th Century Fox ones, all the Data East ones, because I pretty much the iMagic ones. I think I have almost all of them. The Activision ones, I think I got all of them because my pressure cooker when I bought that it didn't work, so the guy refunded me. In fact, I have a new one of that coming because the other ones I have coming, I have the picture label of Skydiver. I got Maze Mania, which is Maze Craze, but it's the telegames version, so I have that coming. Uh, Commando, Skeet Shoot. Uh, God, I forgot because I bought King Kong off of somebody else, but I bought 6 cartridges off of somebody else, and then off of another guy I bought James Bond and Quick Step because the guy he had Up on Loose, and I messaged him, and we went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and we came up on a price. I just hope they work. Because he had a ton of games, and that's like, James Bond, Quick Step. Now I just got to find manuals, because once it's all said and done, is tracking down the manuals so I get the manuals for all these games. It's gonna take me forever. I'll probably end up gonna go on Facebook and talk to this Albert Ruiz guy and send him a list, but then I'll have to save money. I'm probably gonna end up putting $5 away every week and put it away until I have like a few $100 because some of the manuals aren't cheap. Because I do know I want the Earth Dice Screaming, I want Bank Heist, I want Crash Dive, because they're 20th Century Fox games. And I know the Earth Dice Screaming is expensive. Gremlins is expensive. I know the one on eBay is like $70. I had a guy on Facebook who had it in a lot, and I said, I'd buy it from, I wanted to buy some of his cartridges. He wanted me to buy all his cartridges, and I just said, I only wanted to buy like 5 or 6 of them, and I was going to give him, I forgot what the hell he wanted. He wanted like $100 and some for his cartridges, and I wanted to give him $50, which was crazy because which was like sort of half of what he wanted, and all I wanted was like, and he was going to make money, trust me, but he wanted me to spend all of it, and I don't know why he didn't take that deal, but he actually would have actually came out ahead if he took the deal because he would have still had 4 or 5 money games in his collection that he could have sold, and I would have got Gremlins because he had like 4 top money games, and Gremlins was one of them that would have mean he would have had others, and I was like, wow, because I had the other games that were like, I'm like, okay. Oh, I just don't understand people half the time. As far as I know, it's still up. He hasn't sold them. So maybe one day I'll just decide, whatever. But I don't need. I already got like 10 copies of Combat. It would have been different though if he had the numbered versions, like 01 the ones that were the first release ones. I don't have those variations of those cartridges. I think I got like 2 out of the 11 of them. I have 2 of them, so I still need, like, if I buy a variation, I need 9 of them. Because it's crazy with the variations. Just like, Activision, they had blue label cartridges. Sometimes they had white labels, and it's like I don't really want them. But if it comes down to it, and I get them, I save them. It's like, cause they're not worth any more or any less, and they're actually just as hard to get rid of. So it's just like keep them in my collection, and just because they'll just sit there. So eventually, what I'm just going to end up doing is, as soon as I get the games, I clean all my cartridges. I clean the outside, and then I clean the connectors, and I test them all out. Because I actually have a box filled of cartridges that do not work, and those eventually I'll send away to this place that reuses, that takes the shells off and gets rid of the guts. So they repurpose the shells. So I'm like, okay. But that does it for this edition of King Joe's. And as always, I thank you guys for viewing and subscribing. King Joe out.